Postseason Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
A pitch on the way.
Russell drives one in the air. Deep left center. That's back near the wall. It's got a chance. Grand slam. Grand slam, Addison Russell. Cubs lead 7-0.
Runs. 6 ribbies by Russell.
Well, the Cubs get it done. They have forced a Game 7 here in Cleveland with a blowout of the Indians tonight. Addison Russell, a monster night. 6 RBIs. The top of the Cubs lineup was outstanding. 9-13-0. A whole lot better than 3-6-1. The magic number is down to 1 to try and win a World Series for the first time in 108 years. Welcome into Cubs Postseason Live. Progressive Field right back there. A lot of Indians fans left early tonight. I'm David Kaplan. He's Todd Hollinsworth. He's the Hall of Famer Ryne Sandberg. Cubs got on him early. Cubs got on him often. That was a big-time win.
Absolutely. You wanted to see the offense erupt early in the ball game. We were hoping and begging for a big outburst. You've been asking for it. I'm right there with you. Get some early runs, man. Let this thing settle. And it happened tonight, finally. Great at bats. Great at bats against the curveball, Rhino.
Yes.
Yep, you saw some good swing in there, and everything triggered by the Bryant home run on the 0-2 hanging curveball.
In the first inning.
I think that just loosened everybody up. At bat after that was a solid AB against Tomlin until they got him out of there, and an easy victory tonight.
Good approach against him. They made him get the pitches up in the zone, and we talked about curveball pitchers. Sometimes they'll hang them, and so the guys were ready. Good solid at bats, and hit together and hit big with the men on base.
It's funny, you said he's going to hang one to Bryant in the pregame, and I said to Holly, as soon as we watched the pitch spin up there on the replay, I go, well, that's exactly what Rhino said was going to happen. So.
Well, that's what the best pitch in baseball is a real good live fastball, and so Tomlin is gotten away and relied on his curveball, and
we got to go
hang him.
Back into Progressive Field. Kelly has got Ben Zobrist.
Ben, in terms of being down 3-1, why was this team able to do something that hasn't been done in 31 years?
Well, shoot, I mean, we felt like we haven't played the way that we're capable of playing. I think tonight was a much better showing of the way that we're capable of playing. Get a big night from KB, Riz. You know, we strung together a bunch of hits early in the game, and we were able to get an early lead. And then, you know, Jake did what Jake does and shut him down. And now we're going to a Game 7. This is what we asked for.
You mentioned a couple of guys with big nights. Addison Russell, I mean, the first time around, you're on second, and as you round, of course, and you're heading home here, what are you thinking? You see the ball drop, and then you're just shoveling there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 outs, so as soon as the ball's hit, I'm thinking about if the ball falls, I got to be scoring, and sure enough, I peeked out of my eye as I was rounding second, saw the ball fall, and, I'm just doing everything I can, giving it in every gear that I have, and I really didn't plan on trucking the catcher there. That really wasn't in part of the plan, but, he kind of blocked the play a little bit, and I wasn't even into my slide yet. So, fortunately, we were able to score that run as well and have a great first inning.
That really was just the beginning of the offense rolling. You mentioned Game 7. What does it mean to know the season comes down to everything you guys work for, the goal you set out for, to one game?
Well, we've been playing Game 7s the last 2 days. So, this is what you play for. This is an opportunity to do something really special for a special organization. Game 7, I mean, you can't get a better climactic moment than Game 7. So we're excited for the opportunity. I know they'll be excited as well, and we get one more shot at Kluber.
We look forward to it, Ben. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Kelly, and thank you, Ben. So let's get into some of the things that people want to talk about in this game. Most notably, the offense was outstanding. Chapman coming in when he did. I know there was some criticism from John Smoltz. I didn't play in the big leagues. You guys did. Tell me if I'm wrong here. These are big, strong professional athletes. He threw 63 pitches between Sunday and today. Why should that be a factor tomorrow?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily a factor in that, was he ready or could he throw enough pitches in tonight's ball game? I think what John's probably getting at, and, talking traditional rule here, is what kind of, what level of confidence do you have with the rest of your bullpen?
Obviously, he has none.
Well, but that's the point, and I think that we're asking that question, right? So we asked that question to Joe Madden a couple days ago, and Joe Madden says, I trust my guys in my bullpen. I'll use them when I need to use them. Now, we see 2 games ago that you go to Chapman in a 1-run ball game. At that point, you get it. But when you've got a 5-run lead in a ball game and you're bringing him in that early, I think you raises a few questions. Why aren't you going to Strope? Why aren't you going to Rondon? Why aren't you going to Montgomery Wood? Like there was many guys will tell you there's another way to do that.
All right, hang on. Anthony Rizzo's with Kelly on the field right now.
We're going to start with the emphatic bat drop and how that put an exclamation mark on everything this offense did tonight.
I don't know what happened there. I kind of blacked out. Just got a good pitch and stayed through it. And it's a good feeling to get that W. And now obviously it's Game 7, and it's going to be it's already history, but to be part of something like this is going to be amazing.
When you say that in Game 7, I know you've been playing Game 7s essentially the last 2 days, but to know everything you guys have worked for and set out to do comes down to one game, what does that mean to you?
We got to win tomorrow. That's it. You can't look any bigger than that. You got to win the game tomorrow or we're limited. And that's it. That's the end of baseball. So we'll come out fighting and leave it all on the field, and that's all you could ask.
What impressed you most with the way guys battled against Tomlin this second time around, that especially the heart of the order?
I think just seeing them is our advantage always. I always say that. So guys really have been making good adjustments all series, and we want to continue to do that tomorrow and keep grinding.
So you feel that way with Kluber then a third time? You've been saying all week long, you got to tell yourself that.
Yeah, we're going to convince ourselves that he's going to miss, and we got to take advantage of it.
All right, Anthony Rizzo, congratulations. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, but Lindor's switching around. All right, welcome back here on Cubs Postseason Live. Again, we want you to get interactive with us. Get your mobile laptop or tablet ready. Head to csnchicago.com/vote. No special app, no cost. Just visit that website. Get interactive with me, Holly, and Rhino. Tonight's question is, who wins Game 7, Cubs or Indians? You better vote properly. All right, we'll get to that in a little bit. I wanted to get back to what we were talking about. So Chapman comes in. Again, Joe may say, I have confidence. His actions determine something totally different, that he doesn't. But right now, all you care about is making sure you hang on tonight and you win tomorrow.
Well, you hang on tonight, I think, which is number one that we're talking about, and that you're ready for tomorrow. And I think that's really what it comes down to because, listen, I know it's all hands on deck. I know we were talking Lackey and Lester and Hendricks and Chapman and, all these different possibilities tomorrow. I think merely you just say, and I think what's happening is that the question's raised more by national guys. Like, what happened to the trust in the rest of that bullpen? Where has it gone? As I asked Kevin Millard today, I mean, it's surprising on some level that you look over at the Indians and they have a three-headed monster down there going behind Kluber tomorrow, well-rested and ready to go, and I feel like there's some element of desperation over here on our side after a 6-run victory, and there shouldn't be.
7.
Yeah, in the 7th inning, there's still 7 outs to be got, and so that's when Chapman came in, I believe, to put the fire out through the 7th and through the 8th, and whether he had some type of a pitch limit or whatever, he had 20 pitches, 19 before he came into the 9th. I think they let him get one more out and get him out, but you can't get to the 7th game until you get there.
Right.
And when it was 9-2, that's a little bit different than the 7-2 for me.
All right, Kelly's on the field with Addison Russell.
All right, Addison, the second youngest player to ever hit a grand slam in a World Series since Mickey Mantle. To be in company like that, how does that sound?
Sounds pretty good to me. He's one of the all-time greats, and just to hear my name come up in that conversation with him is truly an honor. I'm blessed. I'm happy it came down to tonight, and we had a lot of fun.
I know most important for you is getting the win, a Game 7. Everything you guys work for all season long comes down to tomorrow night. What does that entail for this team? How's the mindset?
I think that we're in a pretty good spot right now. We racked up a couple hits. I know the hitters are feeling pretty confident. I think everyone's ready to get back on the field.
Addy, this crowd wants to see you leave right now. Enjoy this one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelly.
All right, welcome back on Cubs Postseason Live with Todd Hollingsworth and Ryan Sandberg, who's one of the most popular men in Cleveland as well. I'm David Kaplan. Let's get back to what we were discussing. So the offense tonight, it showed up in a big way. First inning, you get the home run out of Bryant, everybody relaxes. Then Rizzo gets a hit. Then Zobrist gets a hit. And then what the heck happened on a routine bloop fly ball with the center fielder and the right fielder standing there?
Miscommunication. That is.
They had issues all night.
In their home park. In their home park, by the way.
Right.
Their home fans out there. Just a dead gapper, no communication. Both guys bailed.
I got it. You take it happen. I mean, it's as simple as that. Both
but
guys.
It looked like they had issues all night.
They did.
Naquin comes in. I got it. Next thing you know, Chisenhall slides in front of him, and Naquin goes down. Then it happened again in left center. Well,
center fielder has to take charge. I mean, that's the rule of thumb there.
I have to put it on them now. I mean, knowing like your home ballpark. I mean, usually what ends up happening in that situation right there, even though this is the World Series, and you say, well, there's a ton of noise and there's all this screaming and yelling going on. In that situation, your crowd knows not to make noise. I can promise you, there wasn't a whole lot of noise out there. There shouldn't have been that miscommunication. I am absolutely surprised that it went down the way that it did, and it went on for as long as it did. That's usually something that gets dealt with. I thought Jason Kipnis was going to have to go out there and talk to the two of them the second time it happened, and I believe it almost happened a third time with Coco Crisp and Wright.
It was a break, though. No question about that. A big break. 3-spot went up on the board early, followed by another crooked number and another one. So it was good to see those numbers go up there. Very good for the bats, I think, in the Game 6 here, going into Game 7, with more confidence going up against Kluber tomorrow.
I thought there were some opportunities to add on later in the game, and the Cubs, first and second, nobody out, and Rizzo popped up. I know he had a 3-hit night. We had a couple of other opportunities where you looked like you could add on, but it looked like it's 7-2. We're in good position, and they just let it roll.
Yeah, sometimes it happens that way. I think everybody wants the strategy behind situational hitting. I'm not going to make too much out of it. I'm looking at the box score: 4 hits for Bryant, 3 hits for Rizzo.
What a night.
2 hits for Zobe. Grand slam for Addison, gets the bloop double as well. I mean, they're feeling good about their swings. They're going to go home. This is a huge win, folks. Don't make too much out of that. Please don't. I mean, etiquette, baseball etiquette, you score some early runs, you like to see guys open it up a little bit. I tell you all the time, you play for the lead, then you play for the downs. And what playing for the downs means, go for it. Let it go. Anthony Rizzo pops up. He was going for it right there. He was trying to hit a 3-run homer. And honestly, I mean, you usually don't have an issue with that. You're up by 5 runs in that situation. You're not playing small ball late with a nice lead.
This was the type of offense we saw all year from the Cubs in the hot weather, hot temperatures in the middle of the summertime. I think they like the weather tonight with the warm weather. It's going to be warm tomorrow night. I think it played in their favor tonight. Ball going out of the ballpark, a lot of base runners, a lot of opportunities, and they cashed in to some extent, but they got happy with their bats tonight. They'll sleep good tonight, getting ready for tomorrow.
Okay, looking at tomorrow, they're going to go up against a guy making his 3rd start in 8 days. Again, he's elite. Corey Kluber's a great pitcher. But does a loss like this, where you had communication problems in the outfield, the Cubs get a 3-spot, then a 4-spot, then big nights for all their key hitters, does that affect their psyche as a player tomorrow? It has to, doesn't it?
Well, in some regards, if you're talking about momentum in the game that was just played and what might be on their mind, but they're going to be told to erase this game. They got Kluber going tomorrow.
Easier said than done, though.
Easier said than done, but we've been talking about, hitters that will adjust, when they see pitchers day after day or 3 times in 2 weeks. This will be the 3rd time around for the Cubbies, and I like the way that they swung the bats tonight in the nice temperatures, and I think tomorrow will be a hitter's dream also as far as the weather, and it's a 3rd chance to make some adjustments off of this guy.
Yeah, usually, you say 3rd time's a charm for a reason, right? I mean, it's cliche, but it exists. And
they're getting their 2nd bite at Hendricks.
What's that? Right. But I mean, I'm talking our Cubs hitters going up against Kluber. Here's the one thing that you have to consider is that the short leash will be applied to Kluber, oddly enough for me to say that, as good as he's been this postseason. I was sitting here thinking, my baseball history and covering, the sport over the last 5 or 6 years, who could I compare him to? Obviously, Madison Bumgarner, what he's accomplished this postseason. But I think I admitted to myself earlier tonight that Kluber's probably going to be on a short leash because their 3-headed monster down there in the bullpen is well rested, and I think Terry would go to them for 2 outs apiece if he felt like Kluber 2 innings, right? 2 innings apiece if Kluber didn't have it, and I really believe that's probably what he's going to consider tomorrow. Kluber's going to have to be his dominant self. If the Cubs are putting together great at bats against him, and they did much like they did tonight, I don't think Kluber's are hanging around just because it's Corey Kluber.
The Cubs are going to have to do some work tomorrow for that fact. Those guys are rested. They've had 2 days off now. They didn't pitch tonight. So they're going to have at-bats, and they're going to have to adjust not only to Kluber, but to those bullpen guys who they've seen 2 or 3 times now also. And no easy task. Those are the 4 guys that have gotten Cleveland to this far, and they're rested, ready to go tomorrow. So the Cubs will have their hands full. They'll have to come with their bats tomorrow for sure.
How tough is it what they're asking Kluber to do, 3rd start in 8 days? Is that overplayed?
It is overplayed. I wouldn't. Tomlin going today, I didn't think was a big deal. He knows how big this start was. Now, as I said, he hung a few pitches the first time the Cubs saw him. The Cubs they took him and didn't do anything with him. Honestly, admittedly, you and I were just talking about this, and they were great tonight. Now, Kluber, and really what I'm getting at here is that Kluber is Kluber. I mean, he knows what this game is. This is a game for his lifetime. This is a game he'll go back to. He knows he's been great. He knows they're in this position because of what he's accomplished. He's going to have to be smart. He knows that a few of these Cub bats, are hot right now, but he's been in complete control so far. So the challenge for him is going to be really not to make a mistake, because there's some hot hitters in this lineup now.
Right.
Addie Russell's on the fastball. Chris Bryant's on the fastball. Rizzo's on the fastball right now. Schwarber's on the fastball. He had a nice night tonight as well, on base 2 times with a base hit and a deep fly ball. So the Cubs look different right now, and he has to understand that. He saw them under different circumstances earlier in this series. That, to me, is what this is going to be about. It's going to be Corey Kluber and the 3-headed monster of the Indians versus, our offense, which is probably at its best point right now of the postseason, as far as swinging the bats, against Kyle Hendricks, Chapman, and some variables. There you go.
Well, either way, tomorrow we know that the baseball season comes to an end, and it's been just a magnificent season. But the next 24 hours are going to be epic.
Epic. Intense I'm already nervous for first pitch tomorrow night, man.
And I'm ready to
be
go.
amazing.
Now
Almost
I'm like,
expected
I
this.
need some sleep.
Almost expected this. 71 years without a World Series for the Cubs. It almost had to go 7 games, even when they were down 3-1.
But I think Indians fans would probably tell you the same thing, just how they have been able to get here. I mean,
they're at 68 years.
In MLB Network, we get to, I get to talk a lot of the, different teams, around baseball, and Cleveland fans have been waiting for this a long time as well. I mean, you certainly understand where they're at, and I see it with their fan base right now as they keep walking up and down the streets. They're already talking trash to us 3 up here, and they're ready to go. They know they got Kluber, and I think they're a little surprised that they got here, but the way they got here was Kluber and company from the bullpen.
To the clubhouse we go. Here's Wilson Contreras.
Grand slam.
Oh my God, that was amazing. Edison Russo has been grinding every at bat since he got moved from the 5th spot, something like that. And I mean, he's a nice hitter. You just have to keep him calm, like he's doing right now. And that was a big help for us. I mean,
Wilson, this has been an amazing year for you. You start with a home run and you're going to finish in a Game 7. You pinch yourself a little bit?
Well, thank God that I started my career with a homer, and now I just got this game season World Series, and now thinking about tomorrow. I'm just looking forward to do my best behind the plate, if I'm behind the plate, and
All right, we are going to dump out of that and head over. Joe Madden now meeting the media, brought to you by Xfinity.
Now you forced to Game 7. Could you back then have imagined a better scenario?
No, I mean, Jake was really good on his regular rest. He was outstanding. We came out hitting the baseball. We looked more normal. We hit our home runs. Like I said before, I think the weather could possibly help us out. I think it actually did. I just know our hitters felt better about everything. Our approaches were better. We're hitting the ball over the ballpark, working good at bats, played great defense. How about Jason, and the double play by Javi was incredibly good. And then Chappie to the rescue again, getting out of that inning against the middle part of their batting order. So there was a lot of good stuff that we did tonight.
Another question for Joe?
Barry.
Over here in the right. Barry?
Thanks. Joe, back to the defense. I mean, you guys made 3 or 4 terrific plays. Mm-hmm. Even the play that Chapman made at first base, getting over there by a hair. Well, how do you think that helps you moving forward? Because any play tomorrow in a game like that, it could make the difference.
That's what we normally do. We're used to making good defensive plays. We're also capable of spectacular defensive plays. I like making the ones you're supposed to make, and then we have such good athletes that they're able to make even better than that plays, i.e., the dive by Jason, and then eventually Perez trying to get into a double there in that last at-bat. Up all over the place, man. That's pretty much what we've looked like the entire season, those kind of defensive plays.
And against the wall, Joel?
Yes, Joel.
Joe, it's, I guess, a mouthful. Thoughts on why Chapman in the 7th? Why again in the 9th when it's a 7-run lead again? And do you think you imperiled his availability for especially length tomorrow by what you did tonight?
I don't think so. I mean, the 7th inning there, because they came up there, the middle of the batting order was coming up, Lindor, Napoli, Ramirez possibly, all that stuff. So I thought the game could have been lost right there if we did not take care of it properly. Also, there was a threat that we would score more runs, which we did, and just did not have enough time to get Stropey warmed up after the 2-run home run by Rizzo. So when things happen that quickly sometimes, there was the day that you could just let your guy go out there and then go take him out before the next hitter, but that's not part of the landscape anymore. So we had to get him ready. So first of all, the meaty part of their batting order, if you don't get through that, there is no tomorrow. And then second of all, just trying to get Stropey ready and have Aroldis just pitch to one hitter. I think he ended up with like 20 pitches. So I don't think that was much more impactful than 16.
And over here in the right center again.
Joe, again on Chapman, were you concerned about him hurting himself on that play? And would you have gone to him if it wasn't Lindor? Is that sort of a tip of the cap to Lindor there to bring him in?
Well, it's just the middle of their batting order. I mean, there's no other way to really try to look at that and feel good. Kipnis had himself a nice night. He gets the base hit against Monty. And then Lindor, he could hit a home run at any time, man, and it's much more difficult to hit it against Chapman's velocity. So for me, the game could have been lost right there. And he's by far our most dynamic relief pitcher. Talked to him before the game once again. He was aware of the scenario. So he went out there and he was outstanding again.
You weren't worried about his ankle after he stepped on the ball?
Yeah, we talked about it, but he assured us he was fine.
And over in the right aisle, Mark.
Mark.
Joe, just given the build-up, the weight, the whole length on both sides with both teams to having not won, does it somehow seem appropriate to you that this has gone to a 7th game?
You're probably right. It's been a very well-contested series. Both sides have played really good baseball. They have been outstanding pitching. They've been outstanding pitching all year. All of a sudden, our offense is having a resurgence, which we need. Again, of course, we want to be the group that breaks the string. But you're probably right. It's just correct and apt that we would go 7 games.
And over here on the left,
Joe, obviously, Addison had probably the biggest hit of the night. Yep. And, I mean, if you could go all the way back to spring training, he said that slugging as part of his game, which maybe we didn't see as much last year.
Right.
So I guess with the bases loaded, you probably want him up as much as anybody.
Yeah, I mean, especially when he's going good, the key to that at-bat was to not swing at the first 2 pitches. I mean, that's what we've been talking about the whole time. I mean, if you get overeager right there, you could put that sinker in play. It's a ground ball to third base, inning over, none of this happens. But he was patient enough to get a pitch that he could work with. And that's what we're talking about with our young hitters. As they gain more experience, they will be able to do those kind of things. And great example tonight. Johnny Maley spoke with him before he went up to the plate, talked to him about Otero, and Addy worked a great at-bat.
And over on the far
Yes,
right
sir.
against the wall.
Joe, Jason obviously had the 2 big defensive plays today, but the first one he had with Jake out there, how big was that to just keeping Jake in the game and keeping the flow of it the way it was?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that definitely kept momentum away from them, which was definitely there for the taking. Great play. But I've seen that all year out of this guy. And we're always talking about offense, and you hear me talk a lot about defense. And a lot of our wins, and you talk about run differential and all that, a lot of it is attributable to great defense. And there's a lot of times you get a bump in a positive way from a great defensive play. So did not surprise. That was a really big moment in tonight's game.
And over here to the left, John.
Yes, sir.
Joe, so it looked like Chapman was going to finish if it stayed 7-2. And
yeah.
Was there a limit would you have had a limit of any kind on the pitch limit for him?
I would have. I was just going to watch him. I mean, that was part of the gig before the game, to put him in a pertinent moment. And then if we were able to sustain a good lead, then get him out on the backside, just like it ended up being. I think 5 runs. Listen, I've been at this ballpark when they were up by 7. Or we were up by 7 or 9, and they came back in the last. Cleveland has this tendency; they have this tradition, so you don't want that to happen. Yeah, I felt very comfortable. That was part of the discussion before the game. Come in 7, maybe have to stop it. If we garner enough runs, then I will take you out of the backside.
And last one for Joe over here
Yes,
on the
sir.
left.
Joe, any chance Lester could be used in relief or to close things out tomorrow night?
Definitely could be used in relief tomorrow. I don't know regarding closing. We'll see how the game plays out, but John will be available tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Joe.
Cool, you got it.
All right, there you go. There's Joe Madden, and said he went to Chapman. He goes, I wanted to stop anything right there with the heart of their order coming up. And then he said John Lester is indeed available to pitch out of the bullpen tomorrow if they need him. So it'll be interesting to see how he sets this thing up. All right, back to the podium. Here's Chris Bryant.
Right here up the center aisle on the right, towards the back.
Chris, how important was it to play from ahead tonight? The crowd was going crazy. 2 up, 2 down. You're down 0-2, and you get a hanging curveball and jack it out of here. So how important was it to get that momentum early?
Huge, especially with the Indians. Obviously, you don't want to let them get to Miller and Allen. I mean, they're 2 of the best in the game. So that's kind of been the game plan the whole series. Try to get up early so that they can't use them when they're ahead, that type of thing. And tonight we were able to do that.
All right, good. And as you can see, Chris has been joined by Jake Arrieta. So just let us know to whom your question is addressed. Who has the next question? Against the far wall, Carrie.
Chris, can you talk about Addison? You've watched him since the All-Star game, how much that meant to him, Gold Glove nominee, and now tonight. I mean, how big was this?
Yeah, I feel like that was the the hit of the night there. Anytime you get four runs on one swing, and to go up I think it was 7-0. That was huge. He's had a lot of big home runs this postseason, and that might have been the biggest. So just watching him, he's unbelievable, man. He's 22 years old, Gold Glove, hitting homers in the World Series. He's just a pretty special player.
Okay, next question. Over here on the left aisle.
Chris, the other night you said after not being down 3-1, why not us? And here we are, Game 7. A lot of people say is the best 2 words in professional sports, and it's for the World Series. It's not even an argument. It's the biggest game in Cubs history. Have you been able, I'm sure, to at least envision what that might mean tomorrow in a Game 7 scenario to kind of be a champion?
Yeah, I mean, anybody who plays this game, grows up dreaming of winning a World Series, and we get to play in a Game 7 tomorrow. That's pretty special. So, I mean, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves when we were down 3-1. It was, take it a game at a time and try to get to Game 7. And tomorrow we're going to be there. And it's nice to kind of build off of these last 2 games with the momentum. And, today, obviously, with the offense is pretty special. And then our pitching was unbelievable. So hopefully we can do that tomorrow.
And towards the back right aisle.
Chris, this will be the 3rd time you guys see Kluber. So what, if anything, changes in how you approach that now that you mentioned, Miller and Allen and getting to them?
I don't know if anything changes. I mean, I feel like, we should have really good at-bats since that we've seen him, 2 times already and very recently. So, but he's a good pitcher. I mean, he's, won the last 2 games that he's pitched against us. He's a tough one. So, but we got a good one going too. I mean, Kyle has, he's very underrated, and it should be a really good game, a really good match, and I can't wait for it.
And over to the right center.
Chris, back to Addison. He seemed like he was hitting the ball pretty well, at least since maybe the middle of the NLCS. Did you see his approach, kind of improve from that point to now that it's allowed him to have the game he had today?
Yeah, I think he's just not pressing as much. I mean, any person, playing this game that's 22 years old probably have some nerves going into, a postseason that really matters to us. But he got those out early, and, now it's, solid at bat after solid at bat. And he's kind of, been a catalyst for us. And tonight he certainly was.
And against the wall again.
Chris, they've been throwing a lot of breaking balls and curveballs to you just throughout this entire series. What kind of adjustments have you made here in these last 2 games to adjust to that, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, they've been throwing a lot to me. I feel like they're just throwing a lot to the team in general, too. But I think, we want to see the curveball in. I mean, with the curveball, outside, it's tough to get any slugging on that, try to hit that. I mean, it's a tough one, especially with the guys they have on their team. Their curveballs, they're some of the best in the game. So force him in the zone and don't go chasing for him. And I felt like these last 2 games we've done that. But, tomorrow, Kluber has one of the best curveballs in the game, and hopefully we, make that adjustment the 3rd time around.
All the way in the back right.
Jake, could you talk about pitching with a lead in the first inning, how that helped you? And also, I know it's maybe crazy, but would you be available for tomorrow if needed?
Yeah, absolutely. Would definitely be available tomorrow if outs are needed. Last game of the year, Game 7 of the World Series. Everybody's available pretty much tomorrow. So that's kind of how we view tomorrow. Tonight, obviously, with Chris getting us on the board early, and then putting another 2 runs up in the first inning, and being up 7-0 after 3. I knew that was all we were going to need tonight. And obviously, with the Rizzo homer that put 2 more on the board, kind of padded our lead. Was really nice to see, and obviously him swinging the bat well, along with the rest of the guys, is really big for us moving into tomorrow. I think some underrated play from Jason Hayward in right field. Making a great play on a Ramirez liner. I think pretty early in the game, maybe in the 4th, and then the big throw into second for that out. The second out at second base was huge. So pretty much. All around, up and down the order, everybody contributed, and that's why we played so well.
And all the way in the back again on the right.
Chris, Joe said that he thought the warmer weather might help you all tonight get unleashed a little bit offensively. Was that the case? Do you feel a little more comfortable out of the frigid cold?
Yeah, I mean, the last time we were here was really cold. I mean, but they got to play in it too. So we're both from cold weather areas. It's not anything new to us, but it's definitely more comfortable playing out there. You get a better grip on the ball. It doesn't hurt when you hit the ball. Those things all play into it. But that weather today, that was some of the best weather we could ask for.
A couple more for either gentleman. Oh, here in the front on the right aisle.
Chris, I think it was the 3rd straight curveball he had thrown you in that first at bat. If I couldn't see you, but anyway, did your eyes light up when you see a hanging curveball like that? Do you feel like you're going to get it before the bat even hits the ball, or how's that kind of process in your mind when you see that?
Yeah, that's my favorite pitch to hit is the hanging curveball. Usually if you just put your swing on it and it's hanging up there, there's a good chance it's going to go pretty far. So, he's really good at controlling his pitches. The first pitch was a cutter painted on the outside corner, and then another curveball away. I felt like the last game he pitched against us, he was throwing everything where he wanted. I felt like, that was something I've been waiting for, is a pitch, in that area, and I got it.
Do we have a last question for Jake? Nope. Okay, we'll let these 2 gentlemen go. Thank
Perfect.
you very much. And Addison Russell is?
All right, there you go. So Jake Arrieta says he is available out of the pen. Chris Bryant said, look, I just had my approach, and I got one that hung there, and it was huge for our team because it relaxed us right off the
Oh, no doubt about it. Got the hanging curveball, changed the tempo of the game. I was just telling Rhino, it felt like in that second at bat, or that third at bat of the inning right there, the 2 quick outs, good at bat by Dexter Fowler right there, but the hanging curveball got him away.
All right, got to go back to the podium. Here's Addison Russell tonight.
Come through in those situations.
Honestly, it's kind of been, throughout the whole year. Being part of the Cubs, you're put in the limelight, and early on, you're forced to deliver whenever the game's kind of on the line. So having that practice throughout the whole season, and then finally, here comes a big moment in the postseason in the World Series. It's just, I wouldn't say it's bread and butter, but you definitely learn to control those feelings. So you're able to see the ball and able to think about pitch counts and all that stuff. So just throughout the whole season, just I kind of practiced it.
And over to the right in the center.
Addison, you had some loud outs in the last couple of games before today. Did you kind of feel like something like this might have been coming today?
Yeah. It's just been the same work ethic, since day one. Not doing anything different. Made some pretty good swings tonight. Definitely the confidence is up for tomorrow.
And over the right aisle, Ken?
Addison over here. 2 questions. First of all, what did you think of that first inning hit off the bat? And then second of all, how did you find out, assuming you have found out, that you tied a World Series record for RBIs in one game?
Rephrase those two questions, please.
All right. Your first inning hit off the bat. What did you think that would?
Well, just off the bat, I thought that was going to be kind of a routine play. It looked like there was a little bit of miscommunication there. They didn't put a glove on it, therefore, it counts as a hit, which I was totally stoked. It pushed me for the next at bat as well, coming up with bases loaded.
And then, how did you find out that you tied the World Series record for RBIs in one game?
Well, this is just me figuring it out right now. That's pretty cool, Tomorrow there's obviously an opportunity, to break that record. We've been doing this all year. Been breaking records. Been putting in new history in history books, and you wouldn't even be able to tell that, just from us group of guys. Everyone's so professional. Everyone gets along together. It's a great bunch of guys, and they pick each other up.
Who has the next question for Addison? Over here against the wall, Carrie.
Last night, you're dressed up as a Ninja Turtle. All right, tonight, you're right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, so tonight you're doing this in a World Series game. I mean, can you even imagine being in this scenario right now?
Absolutely not. One, Halloween's my favorite holiday. It's my nerd holiday. I go all out, and just to have my friends there and family there, to kind of vent to them and take off a little bit of the pressure that I have, that was awesome. But coming into Cleveland, I definitely wanted to have a sound mind, and we did. I think tomorrow we're going to come to the clubhouse with a lot of confidence and a lot of energy. Game 7, it's a kid's dream.
Okay, any last couple of questions for Addison? Nope, right here in front, to the left.
That play where you shoveled to Javi, you were scooting backwards, get the out at second. Can you describe that as you're scooting backwards? What the play you're trying to make?
Yeah. So in that scenario, I'm kind of anticipating the ball to be up the middle a little bit because Chapman's throwing. But it took some weird hops, and it forced me to move my feet and go back into the edge of the infield. Just try to get in front and then shovel the pass to Javi, and glad the ball stayed in front to get that out. I kicked that ball, and the crowd goes wild. The game could have been changed right there, but Javi also anticipating to cover the bag as well, so that's huge too.
And along the center aisle to the left.
Addie, you just talked about Game 7 being a kid's dream, but to do it for a World Series title with this franchise, knowing the amount of years it's been, knowing the fan base and the way they follow you guys, have you been able to kind of process what tomorrow could be for not just you personally, but for an entire franchise?
To be honest, I don't even think that we're really thinking about that. We just want to have that sound mind. I think a lot of us are going into tomorrow as thinking it's just another game, but we're going to give it all we have. That's the approach that we've been taking this whole entire season, and look where we are. So I think if we go with that mindset, I think that we'll be pretty good.
And along the right aisle in the back.
Building on that question, is it fitting in some ways, though, given the swings both ways, that this actual series between you and Cleveland is going to Game 7?
Absolutely. It's going to test both teams, I think. Tomorrow is a day that, you kind of have to put it out all on the table. I wouldn't even say the luckiest is going to win is the people that, come up in the big situations, the guys that make the routine plays, and the guys that make the spectacular plays to avoid the big inning. I think that's going to be the difference maker. So they've been doing it all year. Obviously, they have great defense and great bats, and we've been doing it all year. This is what we've been working hard for since spring training, and just happy to see it all come together and following Joe's plan and succeeding.
And Barry, over to the right.
Eddie, I don't know if anybody asked you this, but can you describe your leap and tag on Hayward's throw at the end of the game?
Yeah, Jay Hay made a tremendous play, getting that ball off the wall, anticipating the guy going to second, obviously, but he has a strong arm. I'm kind of anticipating the ball to go anywhere at that point. but he stayed calm and he gave me a great throw, enough time to where I could jump up and put the tag, kind of on him before he got there. So that was a huge play too as well.
Okay, last one for Addison? Nope, okay, we'll let you get back. Thank you, Addison.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. So there's Addison Russell. 24 hours ago, he's dressed as a Ninja Turtle. He said it's his favorite holiday. He goes, it's my nerd holiday. I go all out. 24 hours later, he ties a Major League record with 6 RBIs in a World Series game at age 22 on top of it.
He went with the right costume, didn't he?
He did.
He looked like a Ninja Turtle.
He did.
Came to the rescue, that's for sure. He had opportunities. He had the guys on base. It was a full lineup approach tonight, and everybody chipping in. So was the guys on base. It was the whole lineup working on the pitch count, seeing what Tomlin's doing. And when you get guys on base, you have a chance to pop one. It puts pressure on their starting pitcher.
How good did the at-bats look tonight from everybody, really, in particular the top of the lineup? I mean, everybody just looked confident, calm, taking their pitches, doing what they do. And I was just really impressed with the approach tonight. Yeah, maybe it got a little bit big in the middle innings, but so what? Rizzo ends up hitting a 2-run homer later. Good to see. I mean, they just look really, really confident going into tomorrow.
All right, as we talk about, they're yelling about Grandpa Rossi, I wanted to ask you guys, Wilson did not do much offensively tonight. He's still got a great cannon back there. Any chance in a Game 7 that Joe says, you know what, I'm going with David Ross?
He is for me. I mean, he should have been in there tonight. And like I said, this is not a knock on Contreras. I think the world of the kid. It's just that I try, as a former player, and I just look at what Rossi means to this team, and I think how he settles this team down when he's out there. I would have gone that way tonight.
I've liked both guys all year long. I've complimented both of them. When Rossi's back there, he really seems to be the guy that's in charge of the whole diamond, the whole team. He brings that sense to me, just watching how everybody responds, how he keeps everything in line, in control. But that's probably one of the biggest choices that Joe has tomorrow.
All right. I think, Nelly, are we going to take a timeout here? Yep, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. There's a whole lot more to do. You'll hear from more guys in the locker room. We'll get you set for tomorrow. And don't forget, we have a poll question for you. So we'll have all that. Who wins the game tomorrow? Cubs, Indians. Fire away at csnchicago.com/vote. Mobile, tablet, laptop. We'll get you the results right on your screen. We'll be right back. You're watching Cubs Postseason Live on CSN right outside Progressive Field.
Cubs Postgame Live is presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all.
Make sure he's in bed by 8.
Sometimes I get scared.
Scared of what, Danny?
The things I can't see.
Got a weird feeling.
Almost forgot. In case anything happens.
Dad, I got this.
This rusty mess isn't going anywhere. Don't trust it to just any cleaner. Trust CLR. CLR makes quick work of the toughest jobs, dissolving crusty white buildup so your shower runs like new. CLR cuts through hard water buildup and helps keep your washer running clean. CLR also earned the EPA's Safer Choice seal, so it's safer for your family. Trust the power of the CLR family and trust your clean to CLR. CLR is available at these fine retailers.
My cardiologist said, I don't want you to come back until you get something done about those teeth. That is the foundation of good heart health.
We're doing amazing transformations, and it's not just a smile. It changes the person's total outlook.
At Clear Choice, we understand that your dental health impacts your total health.
Doing the best for your own personal health is what's important.
Schedule your free consultation today. We'll even talk about financing options. Call Clear Choice today.
When my hair is too long, I don't feel right. But when I get a cut, I'm me again, only better. My tattoo gets feistier. My crazy eye snaps to attention. I become my own Wi-Fi hotspot.
I just downloaded the entire internet.
And trust falls? They don't even scare me anymore.
That pomade really broke my fall.
Get in, get out, back to greatness. Download the online check-in app. Great clips. It's gonna be great.
All right, time for our Wrigleyville Sports winning box score, and this one belongs to the Cubs. 9-13-0, and look at the productivity. You got Schwarber had a hit and a walk. You had Bryant a 4-hit night, 4 for 5. Rizzo a 3 for 5. Zobrist a 2 for 4 and scored 2 runs. 2 for 5 are Addie Russell and 6 RBIs. Just a magnificent night for the offense, guys.
And we're going to need some tomorrow, especially early on in the game. I think, once again, first 3 innings tomorrow are important for both. Look at both starting pitchers, but for Hendricks to dial in on the strike zone. We're going to have to probably play our best defensive game of the year behind Hendricks. He gets ground balls, he throws strikes, and then some of these same guys right there in the heart of the order, anybody up and down the lineup, contribute with some early runs to give him some run support.
I like the fact that we're swinging the bats collectively right there. I thought it was a little bit of a roll, a roll of the dice on Joe. I mean, he kind of stacked. He doesn't like to do this. He likes to take certainly sometimes some hot hitters, keep his lineup balanced with hot at the top.
He stacked it at the top.
Well, he did. He stacked it tonight, and I thought, okay, this is a big play, but I like it because it's Tomlin, and I felt like there was a real opportunity to get some major production, one right after the other. You look at our 2 innings, the first inning and the third inning, it's home run, single, single, double, and then you go walk, and then you got an out, and then you got a single, home run. I mean, again, you saw a nice little boom, 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 right, one right after the other, a collection of quality at-bats in a row. I like that play. Love to see some production from the bottom of the lineup that certainly would help the cause. But when you're going up against a Kluber, a guy who's had this incredible postseason, you like to see that kind of production because you feel like, let's say this, 2 of those guys have nice nights tomorrow night.
Right.
I think it gives you a chance to do something against Kluber, and really nobody's done anything against Kluber all postseason.
You 2 guys have faced a lot of great pitchers. When you face a guy like a Kluber, who's elite, he is, but it's the 3rd time you're seeing him in 8 days, does that help you with your adjustments?
It does for me. I know what his fastball does is the first key that I want to know. Right. The quickest pitch, which way is it going to dart? Does it go both ways? What's the velocity on it? And then you can watch from the bench the rest of the lineup and see what that velocity is and see what that is. And then we know what kind of a breaking pitch and a hard slider that he's got. But the better the pitcher, for me, I wanted to be on the fastball, be ready for a good pitch to hit and don't miss that pitch. Be ready. Put that ball in play hard and have a whole lineup with that. Once again, not necessarily focusing up the middle because of the breaking pitch, but being ready for that one pitch, stay on the fastball and drive it somewhere.
Stay on the fastball. For me, at this point in the game, now they're seeing him a 3rd time, I think that our hitters should be looking to one side of the plate or the other. Now, granted, he's got a great 2-seam fastball. It'll run back in on the lefties. Not ideal to go after if you're not looking for it. But I think what you do is you eliminate the slider. If he throws it for strikes and a ton of strikes, you tip your hat and you say, okay, I can't go up there looking for both of these guys. I'm looking fastball to one side of the plate. And again, that's where he's been toughest all season, or all postseason, is that he's had both pitches working and he's had his fastball working to both sides of the plate. So for me, maybe I go up there thinking, all right, I'm going to look fastball away, and I'm going to stay fastball away and eliminate the slider. Don't go for it, and don't go for that 2-seamer underneath my hands.
All right, back to the clubhouse. Anthony Rizzo is meeting the media.
Got to have it. Obviously, like the last 2, we lose and our season's over, so we got to go in with the same mindset and just play our game.
Anthony, all season long, this team has been resilient. Can you just talk about the resiliency? You're down 3-1, and you've done so far what you've needed to do.
Yeah, I mean, we won today, and we got to just move on to tomorrow now. We got to be ready to play, and we will be. And we never give up, and people who followed us all year know that. So we'll be ready to go tomorrow.
There's not a ball player alive who hasn't dreamed of a 7th game of a World Series. What are your thoughts on you're going to be in one tomorrow?
I think in a few weeks from now I'll be able to digest and what's going on. But tomorrow is, if we lose, our season's over. So we got to go in and win the ball game and go from there.
The Brizzo brothers stirred the drink tonight. 7 of 10, a couple of homers, 3 RBI, 5 runs. How did it feel to have you and Chris connecting with the ball the way you did to come up with this big win?
It's nice. It definitely feels good to help, but honestly, it doesn't matter how we do it. We just got to scratch and claw for that W, and today was no different. And Chris hitting that home run in the first was nice for us, and to just keep adding on was big.
Is this the 3rd series that when you see your manager scrap and do everything he can to help you guys win as well by pulling things out of the hat, I guess you have to win 6 before you get to 7. That's his philosophy.
No doubt. and we did that. We did our job today, and now no holds barred tomorrow. Everything goes. I'm sure Jake's going to probably try to pitch tomorrow too, and everyone's going to be ready. It's you just leave it all out on the field tomorrow.
Anthony, this is the third series in a row, however, where this offense seems to struggle a little bit, and then it seems you guys figure it out, and you're hard to stop once you figure it out.
I mean, we just keep grinding. That's it, and that's the club we are. And seeing guys more than once I think works in the hitter's advantage. I always say that. So hopefully tomorrow will be no different.
But now you're seeing Kluber a third time, a second time on short rest. Do you think that's a real advantage for you guys now?
I mean, it's Game 7. You know, it's win or go home. Everything's out the door tomorrow. It's you just bring it and do whatever it takes. And I keep saying I'm going to convince myself that he's not going to be as good as he was in Game 2 and not as good in Game 1, and just hit his mistakes.
When Chris puts up a point on the board, kind of takes the air out of the stadium, how essential is that to winning during this?
I mean, it's big for sure. That play with Addy getting those 2 runs in 2, it's really, one run is you get 1 swing and it's a run. So putting up 3 in the first is so big for us, so big for Jake to do what he does, and just keep adding on. That was nice.
So is Rocky the it thing now?
For sure. We're going the distance, and it's all we could do is just give it our all tomorrow.
What was the difference you saw between Tomlin tonight and Tomlin the last time you faced him?
Honestly, seeing a pitcher, we never really seen him before, so it's not easy to just see someone that you haven't seen before and go out and, we have success. We've done it before, but it's just seeing them, and he has pitches a little more over the plate today, I would say.
How different is it to actually be in a box with a pitcher rather than looking at him on video or looking at metrics on a guy and then adjusting when you have seen him in second?
Yeah, it's all about just seeing their arm action. You can't duplicate that. Video can't do it. So I think our guys have really made adjustments as this series has gone on, and it's paying off.
You guys keep saying it's just another game, but it's Game 7 to win the World Series. How do you approach it?
Yeah, it's an elimination game. We lose, we go home. So our backs are still against the wall, and we got to come out fighting.
All right, time for our Clear Choice Dental Implant Center's play of the game, and this one's pretty easy for us. Addison Russell's grand slam, 434 5 feet, gave the Cubs a 7-0 lead and effectively put this one on ice in the 3rd inning. Again, that's our Clear Choice Dental Implant Center's play of the game. We just heard from Anthony Rizzo. I got to ask you guys, he's the emotional leader of this team. David Ross may be the real vocal leader in the clubhouse, but the face of this team, the emotional leader with the Rocky music on Sunday and the guys all punching now when they get out on base, is Anthony Rizzo. Does he need to cook anything up for tomorrow, or Game 7 speaks for itself?
Well, you know what? Maybe Rocky 2. I don't know what they'll go for. 3, 4, the 5. There's a lot of Rockies to choose from.
Right.
I say stick with the theme that's working right now.
Yep.
But you know what Anthony's doing? He's really doing it on the field now. He's doing it with his bat. He's working up the middle. He's hitting line drives to right center field, left center field. He reacts to a ball, hits it out of the ballpark now. I mean, he's right there where he wants to be on the offensive side of things, and that's also what you want from a leader. Not just the boxing around and playing the right music, but he does it at first base. Does it at first base every day. He brings his game at first base.
Made a really
on
nice
defense.
play feeding Chapman, who barely got Lindor.
But like his approach right now, he's locked in and covering the whole plate.
Holly?
Leadership is confidence, and confidence is high right now. You look at the middle of this lineup, they're swinging the bats, and we should all be excited for what we believe. I mean, I don't know how you could be more prepared for Kluber than you are right now with the way the middle of the lineup is swinging the bat after tonight's ball game and really leading into this. Chris Bryant's back. He's seeing the ball. He's driving the ball. Anthony's been doing great swinging the bat. I mean, even Zoe, he's a couple hits tonight. Addison Russell contributes, jumps all over a fastball from Otero as soon as he comes into the ball game. I mean, you're in a position right now where that's what speaks. When leadership is not swinging the bat so well, sometimes it's hard to accept that leadership in the clubhouse. But when you're rolling like you are right now, you can do anything you want, man. It's a good place to be right now.
All right, let's go back into the clubhouse. Here's Dexter Fowler.
all the cards are on the table, so it's time to go.
Apparently, Joe says he wants you guys to score early. You guys took it to heart, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think this has been like Game 7 for us for the past 3 days, so we're just going to go out and try to stick with the same program.
What about what that middle of the order did, starting with Bryant and Rizzo and then to Russell, 7 for 10, 3 homers?
We've been watching it all year. And it's definitely awesome. It's clicking right now, and it's time to go.
Everybody said that when Araldus came over, that would be maybe one of the final weapons for this team. What can you say about him, especially these last 2 games?
He's been unbelievable. Just coming on the mound and showing the poise that he does. And obviously it's not a situation that ideally he'd be in, but he's performed each and every time. So.
Did you get the feeling that your team was completely relaxed going into this game?
Yeah, I mean, like last game, it's all or nothing. And we got another one tomorrow, and we'll take the same attitude into it.
You guys are seeing Kluber for the 3rd time, the 2nd time on 3 days rest. Would you say that's a definite advantage for the Cubs?
Anytime that guy goes out on the mound, it's definitely going to be a battle. We know that, and we're here to accept the challenge, so we'll see.
How big is it to get the home runs from Bryant, not only Game 5, but in Game 6 here too?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Like I said, when the middle of your order's clicking like that, it's a tough team to beat.
All right, so there's Dexter Fowler. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back, get more thoughts from the guys. We got to set the pitching matchup for tomorrow, roll through some more highlights. This was a big one, folks. Cubs 9-3 winners as they bludgeon the Indians here in Cleveland. They'll play an epic Game 7 tomorrow. We'll have your pre- and post-game tomorrow. Don't forget, an hour before the game, plus Sports Talk Live at 5 o'clock Chicago time. We'll be right back.
Look at it, lads. New York City. Just doesn't get any better than this.
Actually, it does. With Grubhub, you can get the best foods delivered anywhere.
Gluten-free pad thai here for Seamus.
I am Seamus.
Gluten-free?
Yeah. Can't even taste the difference. Oh, you gotta lock up that front tire.
Speed always wins, especially in my business. With slow internet from the phone company, you can't keep up. You're stuck, watching spinning wheels and progress bars until someone else scoops your story.
Switch to Comcast Business with high-speed internet up to 10 gigabits per second.
You wouldn't pick a slow race car, then why settle for slow internet?
Comcast Business, built for speed, built for business.
Right now at Menards, all interior lighting and ceiling fans are 17% off with over 30 lighting collections on sale. The new Channing collection from Patriot Lighting features an oil-rubbed bronze finish. The mini pendant is only $19. The 5-light chandelier is $99. Or check out the steel collection from Patriot Lighting Elegant Home with a replica wood with antique black finish. This 4-light chandelier is $99. This 6-light island light is $134. Now during the Menard Day sale.
Save big money at Menards.
Welcome to the Apt Showroom, one of the top appliance retailers in the U.S. Explore our full line of Thermador appliances that will inspire and empower you to imagine design and bring to life your dream kitchen. Our team of product experts will work with you, your builder, and designer from the very first sketch to the very last detail. Discover how Thermador is personalized to the way you cook and bring the ingredients of entertaining to life. Visit us at Apt, pleasing people since 1936.
All right, our Maristar Casinos Hotel pitching recap, and let's take a look at the numbers. First, for the Cubs and for Jake Arrieta. Arrieta 5 2/3, a 3-hit, 2 earned run, 3 walk, 9 strikeout baseball. Allowed the 1 home run to Jason Kipnis. For the Indians, they ran out Josh Tomlin, not his night. 2 1/3, 6 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 1 walk, no strikeouts, and gave up the home run to Chris Bryant. That is a look at the pitching recap. What was your thoughts on Tomlin? Because he tried to nibble a couple times, did not get the calls. The next thing you know, he's giving up hard contact.
He pitched behind in the count at times, and he also tried to throw in some breaking pitches. That his breaking pitch needs to be. It could be a hanger if you wait for it. His nasty one with 2 strikes is the one that's down where guys will fish for it. But pitching behind the count. He had to come with more fastballs than he wanted to, and he had to throw more strikes with his breaking balls early on. The hitters adjusted to it. They did not miss those pitches. They got men on base. They got him in the stretch.
And whacked him.
He got a misplay in center field, which is huge. 2 runs coming in. That looked to me like that demoralized him at that time. Those 2 runs coming in, he got a fly out, but that turned into a big inning.
Inevitable, absolutely inevitable. I thought the Cubs jumped all over him. They did exactly what they have done all season long when seeing guys a second time. We've watched this repeatedly. There have been moments this year going up against some players, some pitchers that the Cubs don't typically go against. The 6th starter guy called up from the minor leagues. If he ends up making that start against the Cubs again, the Cubs always seem to come back and respond. They are one of the best lineups at making adjustments. I've said this time and time again this year, and once again, expected them to be really good tonight. They were. They showed up and had great at-bats.
Back to the locker room. John Lester is talking to the media.
Been Game 7.
Game 7?
I've never been, well, in the World Series, I have been.
So going off Lackey, like we say, tomorrow's just not another day. You wake up feeling a little different.
100%. Last game of the year. You know, we've played what 100 and I just figured it out a minute ago, but 170 something games. You know, and it comes down to this. So, you know, that's awesome. You know, especially with these 2 teams. I mean, it's you know, why wouldn't it come down to a Game 7? You know, you got 100 and something years, and you got, what is it for them, 70 years or whatever, 60 years, whatever it is for them. So we can't tie. You know, somebody's got to win tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. You know, hopefully, like I said, hopefully nothing weird is needed. Hopefully Kyle is Kyle, and the guys that have gotten us here all year called upon, and I can keep my happy little butt right there in that dugout and not have to worry about anything.
When you get here and see how warm it was, did you have a good feeling about the offense, the hitters?
I always have a good feeling about our offense. I don't care how cold or hot it is. I mean, there's plenty of times at Wrigley this year the wind's blown in and it's been cold and we've scored 6 or 7 runs, you know. So I love our offense in an AL park. You know, you got Kyle Schwarber in there, the number 2 hole, moves everybody down a slot, makes their pitchers work a little bit harder. So anytime you have Kyle Schwarber in the lineup as opposed to me or any other of our pitchers, as much as some of our other pitchers hit, I'll take our chances with Schwartz.
Hey, John, if something weird is needed tomorrow, and Joe says, how long can you go, or how much could you give me, what would your answer be?
I'll pitch till he takes me out. I don't, you know, I mean, if we're in that weird situation and they have to bring me in, then, you know, at this point we have 3 months to recover. So I'll do what I can. You know, if he wants me to get 1 out, if he wants me to get whatever, it's the same thing as when I start a game. You know, I'll pitch until you take me out. I don't make those decisions. So hopefully, like I said, it's null and void.
All right, let's talk about Kyle Schwarber. A 1 for 4, also got a walk, hit a ball to the track. I mean, anybody that thinks, and there were some analysts saying it, well, I don't know how sharp he'll be. He only had 1 at-bat in 5 days. I think he was locked in.
I thought he had good at-bats. He did. He has a real good eye naturally. No question about that. And he just seems to be able to hit. I was thinking about that a little bit before the game started. I'm thinking back, wait, he sat for 5 days and had 1 at-bat, but not this guy. I know that he's
for
hit,
6 months.
I know that he's different, and I know that he's hitting somewhere. If he's not playing for 5 days, he's getting his swings in. This guy just thinks about hitting.
He loves it.
Love him right there where he was tonight. He's a threat up there. He's right when the game starts. He's up there ready to go. And given quality at bats, he makes the pitchers work, and he's a threat. Drove the ball deep to center field. Either gap, that's trouble. So he showed some very good signs once again.
It's his demeanor. I'm absolutely convinced. I mean, he'll get to spring training. The first game they'll play in spring training next year, he'll go 3 for 4 with a bomb. I mean, it's part of his personality. I watch him as soon as he gets the base hit up the middle, he gets over to first base. There's no, a lot of times you watch our star players. I mean, there's like still that anxiety of, the at-bat itself or the stress that at-bat might have put on them. He just seems to kind of cruise, man. He just plays in that mode. If he's not and he's anxious, he hides it as well as anybody, but he is a class act when it comes to that. I was an emotional wreck typically playing all game long. All the at-bats, pumping and you're getting everything going. He's up there, man, just like whatever.
Cool as a cucumber.
Put the game on the line tomorrow night. Let me have that at bet. I mean, would you bet on anybody else in that lineup? I'll tell you right now, that's the guy that I'm betting on.
All right, let's hear from Kyle Schwarber. He's meeting the media in the locker room.
Obviously a long road for me this year, and it's a little bittersweet, coming into Game 7, the last game of the year. So it's fun. I'm going to put it all out there tomorrow, and I can't wait to come here tomorrow.
You're from Dayton, Ohio. You're from this, so what does it mean to you to be able to do it here in Ohio?
No, it's awesome. This way, I made my first start in the major leagues too. So. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun day tomorrow. Going to have family here, and it's going to be a great day.
There's no worry about the clubhouse. You guys have been loose all year. Is it any different from last year?
No, it's the same clubhouse. I mean, we have the same demeanor. We just want to go out there, play our game, have fun, and win baseball games.
Kyle, when the middle of the lineup is locked in like that, not just the middle, like 2 through 6, even the outs were struck really hard. I mean, how it's got to be intimidating for the opposition. You guys are all swinging.
Yeah, man, it's definitely a good feeling for all of us when we're all locked in at the same time. It's a lot of fun to be out there when that's happening, and baseball's a crazy game, but we're all going to be locked in for tomorrow, and it's going to be like I said, a hard-fought one.
I know you guys are always confident on offense, but when you start scoring in bunches like this, is it just like a relief? It's like, oh yeah, this is how we do it.
I mean, we weren't really trying to look forward to the next day. We were just focused on this day. Focused on putting in good at-bats and focused on our game plan and everything like that. We obviously it's a great feeling, but we just wanted to take it a day at a time. So it's not like we were looking forward to tomorrow in the second inning. We were focused on playing 9 innings, and now that after those 9 innings are over, we're going to focus on tomorrow now.
So guys still doing the air punches out there today. Is that something that's kind of turned into a thing now?
Yeah, the Rocky theme. It's the Rizzo got us on the Rocky theme now. We had Rocky playing in the clubhouse when we were back at Wrigley all day, so it was Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4.
Did you do that today?
No, not today, just the music. But it's a good reminder. I mean, that's the position that we're in right now. Just trying to fight and claw to get our way back to Game 7, and we did.
All right, there you go. So more in the clubhouse. We have more to do in the clubhouse. It's just an amazing night. The Cubs pound the Cleveland Indians, and they roll in with a head of steam tomorrow.
Gotta like that. They got the bats going. We're looking for a couple, 2 or 3 heroes tomorrow, guys to chip in. Now there's more guys that'll be ready for that just because of the night that they had tonight. They'll be feeling good as a lineup tomorrow. Come out early tomorrow, set the tone early with some early at-bats. Make Kluber work, see what he's got, and jump on him. Jump on that fastball. They know this third time around.
You know what he throws.
In 8 or 9 days. They know what he's got. Make those adjustments. Don't miss your pitch.
All right, let me ask you this. After an 0-3 year playing for the Marlins, they had the fluky ending and all the nonsense in Game 6. But rolling into Game 7, and it was a road game, and Kerry Woods on the hill, who was at that time comparable to Corey Kluber is right now. Maybe Kluber's even a little step ahead. What was the mindset coming in? Because you were on the road in a Game 7.
Everybody was jacked to play. I mean, we had, created some momentum for ourselves. And, I know a lot of people have different opinions of what momentum in baseball is actually.
Hitting can be momentum.
I personally believe in it. I've witnessed it way too many times to say it doesn't exist, because it does. You feed off each other. Guys do things that inspire other players, that raise the play of our teammates. It happens all the time. And what happened in Game 6 certainly had a carryover effect in Game 7. We were not, at that time, intimidated by Wrigley Field. We walked in there saying, what happened tonight can happen tomorrow night. Whoever wins goes on to the World Series. And, we just went out there and played from that moment forward. We just thought it was like, you know what, their fastballs are our fastballs, let the best team win. And that's what it becomes, because that's what tomorrow night's all about. Listen, both these teams have tunnel vision. The Indians are pretty confident, trust me. I know that we're feeling great, and we should be, because that was one heck of a ball game, and you could not play a better game tonight leading into tomorrow going up against Kluber. But again, that's what Indians fans are probably telling themselves right now. Tonight didn't go our way, but we got what we want, tonight in that we've got Kluber and a rested bullpen, the three-headed monster still ready to roll.
All right, we got to take a timeout. We'll come back. More to do. And again, don't forget tomorrow, Sports Talk Live from right here at 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock. The three of us will have Cubs postseason live pregame style for you before Game 7, and we'll be back at the end of the game tomorrow night. Take a timeout. We'll be right back on CSN.
The Anthony Rizzo Family Foundation and the Bono family have teamed up to knock cancer out of the park. Order your Italian beef the Rizzo way, and Bono will donate to my charity. I'm proud to be working with the Cubs and the Bono family, two Chicago originals.
Order it the Rizzo way at your local Bono restaurant.
Fix Auto, the first words that should come to mind after an accident.
You know the feeling. The rush of every roll, every flip, sip, bite, note, and night. You know the feeling. Get it at Ameristar.
NBA League Pass. Your courtside seats in the action from around the league.
Curry deep three, good!
See it happen live. Catch the games on your TV and computer. Stream them on your devices with the new NBA app. Watch live games from wherever you are.
You don't like that. You don't like NBA basketball.
Every NBA night is a can't-miss night. To order NBA League Pass today, call 1-800-GET-SPORTS or visit directv.com/NBA.
Everyone at Bill Jacobs works as a team, and they're truly exceptional.
We were absolutely thrilled with their professionalism.
Complete customer satisfaction. It's what we strive for every day at Bill Jacobs BMW. While it may be that shiny ultimate driving machine that brings you through the door, your experience here will make you a customer for life. Bill Jacobs BMW. The cars bring you in, the experience brings you back. Aurora Avenue in Naperville. Get 0% APR for 72 months on select BMW certified courtesy vehicles.
All right, time for our Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. Who's hot and who's not? Career in Game 7 of the World Series. Hot? How about the late Moose Skowron? He played 6 Game 7s, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, and a .960 OPS. Who's not? The great Orlando Cepeda. 3 games, 0 for 11, and 4 Ks. That's the definition of primetime brutal. Wow. All right, another guy in the locker room who's just about as old as these two guys. Here's Grandpa Rossi.
It's a special thing. I'm not taking it for granted. I put on that jersey today, and that World Series patch is on the sleeve. I made sure I took a good look at that because there's not a whole lot of times you get that patch on the side of your sleeve, you know. So just, it's cool. There's nothing else to say. This is amazing. It's awesome. Cool. I don't know what word to use, but it doesn't seem to, I can't even fathom how I'm going to feel tomorrow. Just excited. I'm gonna have to get a decaf coffee tomorrow.
I know how closely you follow game situations, whether you're in the game or not.
Right.
Do you manage along with Joe, or did you cry uncle a long time ago?
I did at times, but right now I am. I mean, you're always managing, I think, in your mind. I just, you know, I keep a lot of it to myself. What I would do, what I wouldn't do. I don't. You know, I used to talk about it a lot more, and I keep it to myself a lot more now than I used to.
Did he surprise you tonight?
Oh yeah, I think so. But again, he's been doing a lot longer than I have, and you know, he didn't come down there and go, "Hey Rossi, what do you think I should do?" I definitely didn't see that coming, but I was happy that it worked out the way it did. It kind of makes you, when things work out sometimes, and especially with the homer. You know, everybody's talking about you bring guys in the big situation. Is he the closer? Is he not? You know, you bring your best pitcher in for the biggest situation, and maybe that was the biggest situation in his mind, and he saw that was it, and I left him out there for the 8th, and luckily we scored 2 more, and we were able to bring Stropey and Woody in to get some outs. So this game's crazy. You can't. That's one thing I do like about Joe. He doesn't take anything for granted. You know. Pretty cool to see how that played out. And, Chappie with all the pitches he did the other night looked sharp tonight, looked really good, and a couple guys were saying when he was in Cincinnati, the more he pitches, the better he seems to get. And Joey Votto, I think, had said that to one of the guys a couple years ago. Just, you think 4 or 5 days in a row he's going to be wearing out, and he just seems to be sharper. I saw him really sharp throwing strike one, and looked like his slider was decent tonight. So I told him, I said, hey, man, he was high-fiving everybody. He's like, get the heck out of here. Go ice down. Get ready for tomorrow. Yeah, get some sleep.
David, what do you
Make it the other side?
No.
All right, welcome back on Cubs Postseason Live. So, with Hendricks going tomorrow, who catches him is the big question. You've got the numbers on how many starts each catcher had with him.
Well, yeah, it's pretty lopsided. I think we were all stating our case, and I've been stating my case all along. You asked me a little earlier, why hasn't David Ross been catching more? Honestly, that's my one remaining question. Joe, why hasn't it cost more? But Contreras is the one who has the numbers. 16 starts behind the plate when he's been catching. Montero did a little earlier, but he hasn't been catching in the World Series at all. It really just comes down to Contreras being in there. If he were to go to Rossi, he's caught him twice, and I'm not saying it can't happen, but I think it would be shocking.
Yeah, you look at the number of times. What would you do, Rhino, if you were making out a lineup card? Do you go with the young gun and Wilson Contreras, who has the most history with him, or do you go with David Ross, the veteran?
It makes more sense to go with the guy that has the most history, and then it works both ways. With Hendricks feeling comfortable with Contreras, he's been great with him behind the plate. So they've been getting it done. So he's the logical choice. David Ross, I mean, he's a captain type of a figure. But I think it's kind of lopsided with Contreras having the most times with Hendricks behind the plate.
All right, take another time out. We'll come back, look at the pitching matchup. Be right back on CSN.
Dirty old furnace. Call Four Seasons.
Dirty furnace? Clean it up with a Four Seasons furnace tune-up. Lower utility bills, increase furnace lifespan, and guarantee a breakdown-free season for only $89.95.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
This rusty mess isn't going anywhere. Don't trust it to just any cleaner. Trust CLR. CLR makes quick work of the toughest jobs, dissolving crusty white buildup so your shower runs like new. CLR cuts through hard water buildup and helps keep your washer running clean. CLR also earned the EPA's Safer Choice seal, so it's safer for your family. Trust the power of the CLR family and trust your clean to CLR. CLR is available at these fine retailers.
We asked people to write down the things they love to do most on these balloons.
Travel with my daughter.
Roller derby?
Now, give up half of them.
Do I have to?
This is the tough financial choice we could face when we retire. But if we start saving even just 1% more of our annual income, we could keep doing all the things we love.
Prudential, bring your challenges.
Here's some information. We have the right amount of beer taps. If we had any more, the kegs wouldn't stay fresh. Any fewer, and we might not have that beer you like on tap. The one you can't pronounce, so you just point. We've got all that and more, which makes us pretty confident. We've got that confident look in our eyes, the squinty one with the furrowed brow, because of the taps.
All right, time for our keys to the game recap. Brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Here's Todd.
All right, Tomlin adjustments. Absolutely outstanding tonight, Rhino. I thought that the guys made great adjustments in the ballgame. In fact, we talked about this, the pull side. We used the numbers from game one and the number of hitters that had pulled the ball against Tomlin. Other than Bryant's home run, which, again, it's not that you can't go up against a guy like Tomlin and not look to pull. You need to be able to stay on his pitches. That's what it really comes down to. And I talked about this, having one of two choices, either using the middle of the field or moving up in the box and a little bit closer. Now, Bryant's home run, 433 feet away, was absolutely outstanding, again, to the pull side, but it was on the inside part of the plate. The rest of our hitters on that curveball and even on the fastball used the middle of the field. I thought it was a great approach tonight against him. Arrieta, fastball command. He was outstanding. I thought, other than that one little hiccup, I think it was, the fourth inning where things started to unravel for him a little bit, and again, somewhat unexplainable. he was outstanding again tonight. I would have liked to see, I wanted to see him get through 6 solid, 102 pitches. I know Joe went to go get him, but I felt like, man, oh man, maybe he could get one more hitter out right there. But I get it. Not the end of the world. Arrieta 5 2/3 innings, 9 strikeouts tonight. Dominant performance, no doubt about it, and certainly did what he needed to do in this one. And then Chapman. You know, I guess I'm surprised somewhat at his role tonight and how that was used. I thought, you know, if he was going to ultimately end up in the 7th, he would probably finish this game. That's not how it ended up going. And he will be available tomorrow, which is, you know, a good thing. But all in all, the way that it worked tonight, it was a little unconventional and a little untraditional, but it worked. End of story.
I was glad to see the crooked numbers go up on the board and everybody contributing up and down the lineup. They hit together, they rallied, they had a lot to be happy about in the dugout. They created the atmosphere that they had for 6 months during the regular season. Loved that.
It was just, to get the Bryant homer in the first, I thought was such a huge thing. Not just because it's one run, everybody relaxed.
Everybody relaxed, everybody hit, they're feeling good going back, and they can't wait for the game tomorrow. They're ready as a lineup to attack Kluber for the 3rd time, make the adjustments. Moving fastball is the key pitch for him. It sets up his slider. They know which way it's going to do. They have to react to it. Stay short. Don't have to be big against him. He's a tough pitcher with a lot of movement. Keep your swing short. Put a lot of balls in play. Put some pressure on the defense. I think the Indians have the pressure. We saw it tonight with the play in center field and right center field. I think that carries over in tomorrow for Cleveland's defense.
All right, back to the clubhouse. Here's Javi Baez.
Anybody in the lineup can turn their game away. I mean, our way. Mm-hmm. We just got to slow the things out. I mean, they weren't patient to us, and you know, today we came patient, and they had to come to us, and we make them pay.
It felt more like a late night in June than it did, you know, a cold night in, you know, beginning of November. Did that have any effect at all on you guys being able to hit so well tonight?
Oh, I mean, the weather was great. It was pretty warm today, and you know, that's a big thing for us. Playing in Chicago and with the cold weather over there, you know, it gives us a little comfort, and we play better when we play hot.
When you were a little kid, is this what you played throughout your mind? You know, Game 7 of a World Series. Is this what every guy in here envisioned?
Yes. That's why I'm here. That's why I have so much fun, and to do what we're gonna do tomorrow, play the game 7 of the World Series. And it's that because you can go farther than that. So yeah, I feel great. You know, great feeling to be in this spot, in this team, and you know, being so young in this position is a great feeling.
Does fighting off elimination these last 2 games?
You had the one single on Sunday, but how important was it for you to get that base hit up the middle today?
Really big. You know, I've been trying to make my adjustments. You know, but I think I've been trying too hard, and that's when you speed everything up. You know, we should try to be patient at the same time and make my adjustments.
Did you make an effort to slow it down today or the last couple of days?
Yes. You know, we've been watching videos and stuff, and we've seen the mechanic and everything is good. Just I'm just speeding everything up a little bit.
Does fighting off elimination the last 2 games help you stay calm when you get to a even bigger stage like Game 7?
Yeah, you know, we went down 3-1 to the series, and that Game 5 we try take game by game and pitch by pitch, and we did, and it really came really good for us.
All right, we're going to take our final break, and then we got to give you the poll results. We've had a record number of votes. We were approaching between 260 and 280,000 votes last we checked. So we'll get you those results, preview the pitching matchup, and get you to bed. You need your rest because it's a big one tomorrow. Game 7, baby. 2 best words in sports. Be right back. The Chicago Cubs are in the World Series, and Wrigleyville Sports is the place for all your official gear. World Series t-shirts, sweatshirts, and the official locker room cap worn by the team, champagne not included. Pins, flags, collectibles, and toys for Cubs fans of any age. Everything you need to celebrate the Cubs' first pennant since 1945. Visit our store across from Wrigley Field or WrigleyvilleSports.com now.
Did you know slow internet can actually hold your business back? Say goodbye to slow downloads, slow backups, slow everything. Comcast Business offers blazing fast and reliable internet that's 10 times faster than slow internet from the phone company. Say hello to internet speeds up to 150 megabits per second. And add phone and TV for only $34.90 more a month. Call today. Comcast Business. Built for business.
This one has amazing gas mileage, but I think this one is more my style. But then again, maybe this one is more my style. What to do?
Now, you know, at Continental Motors, there's a 3-day exchange policy on all used cars.
Wow, 3 days, really?
Yeah, 124 hours.
No, 3 days is 72 hours.
Well, not if you're using the metric system.
No, still the same.
Even if you carry the...
72 hours.
So then 3 days. Grab your phone and come check out our unbeatable online selection at ContinentalMotors.com.
So I'm never gonna let you go. I'll hold you forever. Oh, baby, I'm gonna let you know we belong together. We belong together.
Your home, your auto. Together, they're where life happens. That's why State Farm protects them together, to help life go right. Combine and save. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
How many, though? All right, time for our poll results. We asked you a simple question. Who wins tomorrow? Well, you're watching Cubs postseason live. You better be voting the right way. And over 90-some% last I looked was Cubs.
Really? And that honestly is embarrassing. Over 90%? Why is it not 100%?
Because there's probably some Indians fans or some Sox fans who are...
Wait, we can't get this right in Chicago now? Come on, Sox fans. We were on your side, and at least I was in 05.
Yeah, we all were. No question. Anyway, 250,000 plus votes.
Impressive.
And that's
Amazing,
where it is.
right?
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah. So.
And I happen to agree.
Why it's not 100%? Right.
Do you believe?
I agree. Why they've all voted
correctly.
Correctly.
All right. Do you believe that Cleveland and Chicago are similar in that they both feel like they get to this point and then what lets them down? Like 97, Jose Mesa blows the save. The Marlins tie the game in the 9th, win it in the 11th, and the Indians have not been able to win a World Series in quite a long time, 68 years. The Cubs, it's been 108 years, and we've got foul balls into the stands, and we've got Black Cats in 69, and we got Leon Durham's glove getting Gatorade on it and going through his legs in San Diego. All this nonsense. Do you believe the Indians fans are terrified tonight or bring on Game 7?
I think that's a tough question to answer. It really is. I think everybody's everything. I mean, with so much history and so much time in between, hard not to believe if you know the feeling of this history. Different from me. I'm 43 years old. My story's different to tell. But when I know my neighbors and my friends and people that I live with in Chicago and have for over a decade, they tell me how this is so generational, how this goes to my father who's no longer with us, or in his father. They were all fans. I get it, man. I get chills even thinking about it. I get how real this is. I got my brother-in-law texting me all the time. He's like, he's nervous. He wants tickets to tomorrow night's game. I'm like, dude, I don't think you got enough money, man. These tickets are going through the roof already. We were just talking about it. I mean, I get it. I really do. I don't think that you walk into this game fearless. I don't think you can. Even as a player, you probably get a little bit of what's going on. Tomorrow night is going to be an epic night. It's going to be an exciting night. And I think both fan bases really do realize what this is all about. What is it, a combined almost 170 years of futility?
176.
176 years of futility. So you tell me. I mean, you put that together and you think that building over there across the street filled with both sets of fans who are so hopeful that that drought is going to end. Well, it's going to end for one of them, but it's not going to end for the other.
What do you think?
It's really mind-boggling. It really is. I mean, the Cubs. I've been around the Cubs fans for 35 years now, and that's been the main question that I've gotten: are the Cubs going to get to the World Series? Now I can say yes, they can get to the World Series. Now we have Game 7 tomorrow. I mean, it's about as big as you can think as far as all the people that I've run into, all the fans, all the people that I've seen throughout the years. What this means, and it's really hard to put into words, but I just love the opportunity of a Game 7. I love the demeanor of this team all year long.
Right.
And Joe Madden, I think, is managed loosely, have fun, play hard, get your work in, but have fun as a group. And
Put some costumes on.
I think that is, yeah,
Right.
do costumes. I think that all is huge for now, this team being ready to play Game 7, because I've seen it, the big games, when they've been having the big series up against the big teams throughout the summertime, they've been able to put a game together because they stay relaxed and they have fun.
All right, guys, a lot of fun. We will see you back here tomorrow for the pregame.
Sounds good.
STL as well. Thank you for watching Cubs postseason live. It was awesome tonight. Cubs win 9-3. Game 7 tomorrow. Get your rest. You're going to need it. It's going to be wild and epic. We'll see you.
Can't wait to see what's in store for us tonight in Cleveland, Ohio. High fly ball in the air to left. Cubs strike first. Rizzo. That's into right center for a hit. That's into right center, a base hit. Rizzo will turn and go. First and third with 2 out here in the first. Wing to his left, Chisholm home, neither one gets it. 1 run scores. Here comes Zobrist, throw home. Safe as the ball gets away, and Russell ends up at third. Rizzo with another base hit, 2 for 2.